Welcome to Beyond Six Figures, the podcast that helps business coaches to micro-niche, get noticed, and become fully booked. Learn from top industry leaders who've successfully taken their businesses and their lives beyond six figures. Get ready to level up your coaching business and make this world a better place, one business at a time. And now, here's your host, Ziv Raviv.
Hello and welcome to Beyond Six Figures. It's my pleasure to welcome Karl Lillrud to the show. Karl is an award-winning innovation and AI thought leader, a top-rated business coach, and a professional keynote speaker with over 25 years of experience in business growth and digital commerce. He's been recognized among the world's top business coaches and speakers, ranked as Global Guru's top 30 motivational speakers, and named the top 30 business coach in 2022, as well as top 10 artificial intelligence thought leaders by Thinkers 360. Karl is also a best-selling author of 6 books and a 2-time TEDx speaker. He founded his first company at the age of 16, and since then helped over 1,000 businesses, and from startup to Fortune 500 giants. In today's conversations, we will share practical, actionable insights on innovation, scaling businesses, and leveraging technology. And every business coach can apply some of this to their own clients. Karl, welcome to the podcast. Hello.
Thank you. And thank you for that amazing introduction.
Well, as you can feel, some of it was done with some help of our friend ChatGPT, but it does help in doing some research. Was everything correct?
Yes. The only thing is that ChatGPT might not be fully up to date on the number of books. So right now I published 9 books, but that's just kind of deep.
So I was only aware of 6 of them. I'm sorry, I apologize. Yeah. And I know how hard it is to work on every single one. So congratulations for your prolific achievements. And so first I want to start with just knowing what's exciting in the life of Karl Lillrud this day. What are you up to?
To me, life is about innovating. And in my professional life, I'm questioning standards all the time, trying to figure out what difference we can create or what impact we can create using today's tools. And also how can we make use of what we know to push boundaries and propel faster and more efficient into the future. And that is what I do on a daily basis. I run innovation projects myself, but I also help companies and individuals to innovate. And many people don't really understand what innovation means. And I think that it's also tied to your personal idea about innovation. Many think of innovation as you being an inventor of things. But today, innovation is basically coming up with solutions to problems that have not been solved or improving current solutions. And that is what every company out there is trying to achieve, to actually improve on their current situation.
I love it. I have this feeling in me when I talk to you and when I talk to other influencers and when I do business is that like you want to have almost a tally of all the problems you solved over the years to different people, like to create an impact, to make this world a better place, one business at a time in a way. And innovation is a value. You need to strive towards that innovation, making the solution cheaper, making the solution easier, making the solution faster. What are some of the problems that you've been focusing on recently and helps people achieve innovation?
So if we just circle back, as you mentioned, I started my first company when I was 16. And since then, I've been doing a tremendous amount of things over the years. But what I concluded over the years is that what drives me is to save lives. And it's not about saving someone that needs surgery or something, but rather, how can I, with my experience, my way of reasoning around the problematic situations or blockers that people might be hindered by in one way or another, how can I use all of that I come with to waste less time. I was invited to do a keynote a short while ago for an enormous audience. And I realized that just by doing the numbers, if I step up on stage and I do a keynote for 45 minutes, it will result in more than one lifetime because the audience was so big. And that adds pressure, but also energy to me. Like, if I really want to be true to myself, I can't waste any time on stage. I need to make sure that what I say is actually impactful in one way or another. And with such an enormous audience, it's impossible to say that the entire keynote is going to be of great impact and value to everyone. So instead, you need to make sure that you have like a toolkit, a number of things that everybody can relate to, and some will pick one tool out of that toolkit, and some other people can pick some other tools. And with experience, you have all those tools. You have the do's and don'ts. You have what works and what did not work, and you have an easier way to, in your mind, simulate an impact and an outcome. So what I'm working on right now is exactly that. I'm driving an innovation project to save time within a specific sector, and I will keep you updated on the progress. Right now, it's a little bit behind closed doors, but we are getting there very soon, and it's going to impact something that you actually are involved in very, very much. So it will save you about 60 to 80% of the time that you put into your daily work, actually. So
that sounds tremendously huge impact.
Yes. And the funny thing is that it will be AI enabled, and it will be like an exoskeleton. It will be something that empowers you to be more efficient, but it's still going to be you, the human, that controls all the levels, all the results, and the how you want things to actually look and feel.
So in your journey, you've been going into AI relatively early. And also in recent years, you've released books and have been considered a thought leader on the topic. I want to ask you about specifically like business coaches. Yep. They often use AI to, like, it's so easy. You go in, you ask, give me a content plan in 10 seconds. You have a content plan for a month. Now write the posts. Now design the images. Now write an article for LinkedIn. Write an article for my blog. It became so easy that I think in a way it became also a little bit dangerous for that business coach to really lose his voice and to lose track of innovation and solutions. What are some things that you think can be done to help people maintain their voice, to help people remember some sort of a value, a compass that will help them go to the right direction so that they don't... I don't think the world need another, like an army of AI coaches that are humans that don't actually put in any soul into their work. They just spray around more and more content. We need some soul, some actual intentionality, some innovation, some care to details, and so on. So what can we do to protect ourselves from becoming an AI coach or a proxy, if you will, to ChatGPT or Claude or whatever, instead of bringing in some actual blood and soul and heart?
Yeah. So first of all, we humans are like an amazing machine at identifying flaws. The first time you see an AI-generated image, you say, "Okay, that looks nice." The second time you see it, you say, "Okay, yeah, but I see that it's an AI-generated image because it's all just after looking at two images, your mind have been trained on the flaws." This is of tremendous value to us. But it's also a risk, just as you say, as people start using this technology more and more to generate content that they say this is done by me. So what I propose and what I strongly recommend for everyone is to use these tools as your helping hand when you are brainstorming. So instead of trying to figure out, like, okay, I want to write an article, can you do that for me? Instead, say, this is where I'm right now. These are my thoughts, and this is the direction that I'm going in. Give me 50 ideas of what you think would be impactful. This is details about my audience, and this is what I want them to get out of this. Don't just say, I want an article, write it for me. Go and define details around the article, not the specific article, but everything around it. And then keep in mind that these AI models, they've been trained on more or less all the readable material that can be accessed online. They have not been trained on everything that have not been taught yet, because it's impossible. They can't be trained on that. These are training models. They are not developed to be innovative. So what I'm proposing is that you use this machine, these models, these tools to break new boundaries in your own mind. So when you get that bullet list of 50 ideas, don't take the bullets as they are. Try to, in your own way, read between the lines and say, okay, so if I use this idea and combine that with this other idea over here, and then that would potentially result in this other idea. And then all of a sudden you have something that is actually thought provocative, that is connected to you as an individual, and that breaks new ground.
It's almost like we need to use our own brain and our own unique CPU of, within us that can help us make the connections, make those human connections, be creative, allow ourselves to play, if you will, and work like with the different parts of our brain. You've been writing about your second brain in your book, AI, Your Second Brain, Evolve or Go Extinct. What did you mean by go extinct, and what can we learn as business coaches from your book?
So if we don't evolve, we will not be on the competitive edge, if we say so. Like if humanity as a whole decide not to use this technology, and the technology itself is pushing itself to actually develop itself, then there is a risk that we all of a sudden don't know how to actually survive in this environment. But when I say go extinct, it's more of the value of yourself on the market, whatever market that might be, if that's a job market or if it's about meeting your future wife or anything. Like if you don't stay up to date, you will be outdated. You will be replaced. And that is a huge risk for many people that feel like everything's moving so fast. I don't know where to keep up. And even I feel that from time to time. There are so many things going on. But if you just think about it, it's impossible to keep up with the entire stock market, as an example. But you can focus on certain stocks and focus on those companies to understand why the stock is moving as it is up and down. You can, in the same way, focus on particular areas within artificial intelligence and say, I'm super interested in healthcare, for example, or I'm super interested in generative image models and how they actually can help me in my professional life or in my private life.
Do you have a prediction for when will many people will lose their jobs and it will become like some sort of a tipping point where society will change in a way that just like unemployment will become a phenomenon that cannot be ignored?
I think it's much sooner than most people dare to realize. If we look at Waymo, for example, with self-driving taxis, they are operating and they are very good at what they do. I believe that rather soon, we will see that cities and the society itself realize that these vehicles are safer than someone having access to the steering wheel. And when we get to that point, then that is a huge tipping point where potentially cities will not allow people to drive their own cars.
Interesting.
Yeah, because again, it's about saving lives. And I know that many cities around this, or many countries, have a desire to have zero deaths in traffic. But to achieve that, we need to look at the who or what is causing these accidents. And right now, it's not the car, it's the driver.
Are you willing to put a date on that future? Are we talking about?
So the challenge with that is regulatory requirement. And like most people know, the Waymo self-driving taxi is not allowed to operate in most cities or even countries. It's very limited where you can actually use their service. In the same way, I believe that humanoids and robotics will replace stock management and take care of pick and pack for distribution. And again, that is sort of the same thing. We humans should not put ourselves at risk because this is not an environment where you challenge, explore, and basically evolve into anything. I'm sure that there are things that you actually can learn and say that this is some type of experience that have an impact in my future work, of course. But it's not an environment that I believe is going to make people feel like they thrive at work and that they are really motivated to do better day by day. So this is, again, something that we see a huge improvement in the technology connected to artificial intelligence. And the robotics before that was trained on one maneuver and could do that perfectly. Now with NLP or natural language processing, we can actually talk to these robots and they will practice and learn themselves as they go. Of course, they can't do everything yet. But if we look at the progress that we've seen last a couple of months, it's at a rate that we could not even dream of 3 years ago. So humanoids will replace humans to some extent. Self-driving cars might not have to be a self-driving car. You might have your humanoid that drive the car instead. We don't need to change how the vehicle is equipped with a self-driving robot in the actual vehicle. You can actually bring your humanoid robot that drives for you. And that is also why these humanoids are designed as humans, because the world around us is designed for us. So if we look at the old industrial robotics arms, they were designed to stay in one place and with a protection fence around it so that you could not hurt yourself. But today, these robots have so much senses and ability to make sure that we are not harmed. So we will very soon see that they are there to support us.
Let's try to go back to the present, because we're living through a change, and the change is accelerating. And things that used to work, some of them no longer do. See, things we used to know sometimes change overnight these days. And I want to just ask you about if you have an opinion about the future of Google. They've been making most of their money for many years as a result of their search advertising platform. Many businesses, our listeners as business coaches, they help those businesses strategize and implement these advertising campaigns. And those businesses rely on being seen. So They have to be seen in order to actually sell their services and products. And we are seeing a change as we speak, like even in the last few days slash weeks, traffic is going down in certain keywords where Google no longer shows you the ad results. They show you an AI assistant that will answer the question way better, and traffic goes down on Google Ads, traffic goes down on SEO. And that will probably just expand. They will just roll out more and more of these AI-generated search results, which are often way better in the experience of the human that searches. So do you think that they will ever figure out a way to still monetize their search engine through advertisement? Or do you think they're going to switch to a subscription model? And if that happens, what are all those businesses going to do?
Yeah, search engine optimization is a very interesting topic because with AI, we can generate massive amount of content. All of us know that. But the content itself might not be as optimized for search as you might hope. And as you generate content, the more and more content that is generated using these models, the easier it is for Google and other search engines to actually use that content to train their model on identifying generated content. So it's like a loop of challenges here. But if we get back to your question, how can you monetize or how can you build your business when you rely on Google Ads and then having that as your funnel? I would say that to pay for customers to find you is the wrong strategy from the beginning. You need to diversify yourself so that you have multiple funnels that in itself is designed for one customer journey. So instead of waking up one day saying, okay, Google is not helping me grow my business any longer, then be in the future and identify what other ways you can use to actually grow and create impact for your business. How can you train these models on the offer that you have so that you can have an organic result in the AI generated responses? And also, Google have not been on top of the game officially or publicly in terms of incorporating artificial intelligence into many of their solutions. That doesn't mean that they have not been building on it. They've been building an amazing amount of solutions, but they have not chosen to launch them to the public. They have showed off their muscles a little bit and so on. But what we've seen in the last few days when they launched their video model is that they are far into the future. They're really leaving their competitors behind. And that is the strength of Google, I think, that they don't feel like they need to show you what they're working on. They can wait and they know that they already have such a connection with the market. So when they launch, the market might follow. Let's not say the market will follow, but they have the ability to actually spend a little bit more time than the other startups that need to get out there as early as possible to be the hype. So to get back on topic again, in terms of search, Google have already showed us a little bit about the impact that they are building on with AI-generated results in your search results. But they are also doing lots of other work in terms of making sure that you can reach your customers even when the way we search is changing dramatically. So I believe that there will be a totally new type of opportunity rather soon.
And if you rely only on Google in your business, then that brings us back to your book, Evolve or Go Extinct. Your business can actually go extinct. If you want to future-proof your business, it's a classic question. When should you plant the seed of an oak tree if you want a 400-year-old oak tree in your backyard? If you don't have a time machine, that day is today. So if you are running a business or if you're a business coach, you need to help your clients future-proof your business by diversifying their traffic sources, but also by innovating, using all these tools that are now available for us to not just spray presence, but actually laser focus their ideas, spread their ideas in a way that touches other people's lives and helps them and make this world a better place. Karl,
and as you say, ideas with S, not try one idea, but come up with a bunch of the ideas, build a bunch of proof of concepts and test them out, because what might not work today actually might work perfectly tomorrow. So don't give up on your ideas, sleep on them. And maybe you realize that if I create 10 different ideas, 3 of them can be combined into one super idea.
I love it. Before we wrap up, I want to ask you on a more personal level. Some people are listening right now. They might have ideas about innovation, innovative ideas about business, about AI. And sometimes what they are looking for is a little bit of guidance and support. Even business coaches uses coaches and mentors to help them, inspire them, and push them to innovate, to succeed. If people are ever looking for your advice, do you actually spend time one-on-one or in groups outside of your speaking career and outside of your advisor to companies, more on the smaller scale? Do you actually help coach people?
Yeah, of course. In the business? Of course.
So tell us more about that.
Yeah, so I have a business coaching program. Depending on where you're coming from, you might see it as a mentor or a coaching program. That depends on how much you want me to inspire or how much you want me to lead you in a direction. There's a big difference there that most people are not aware of. And the easiest way to learn more about that is to just go to my website, karllillrud.com. That's KarlLillrud.com. Or hook up with me on LinkedIn, and we can keep the conversation going there. And then there's also one of my latest books that is called The Innovation Factor that might interest you.
Just so that we help you in this conversation and help the audience members to know your own preferences, do you have some boundaries where you say, well, I'm a good fit for this type of business owners, but I will probably say no for that? Like, do you have some sort of qualifications that are needed in someone that wants to get your help with inspiration or leadership?
I would say that my strength lies in digital products, not as much in physical production. I have some experience in that as well, but there are probably other people that I know that I can direct you to. But reach out to me and we can have that conversation. I'm happy to have that conversation to see, basically touch ground and see where you're coming from, what you want to achieve, and what things you feel that you're missing or that you need help on building.
I love it. And if you're listening to this and you want to check out the show notes, we're going to put all the links to Karl Lillrud's books and the website, and where you can check if you qualify for being coached by him, either with his leadership or his inspiration programs. Karl Lillrud, thank you so much for helping us with clarity on all of the changes that are going on right now, and for your leadership. Thank you for taking the time also to speak with us here in Beyond Six Figures.
Thank you so very much. I'm honored to be on your show.
Thank you. And thank you for listening to another episode of Beyond Six Figures.
Thanks for listening to Beyond Six Figures. Check out the extended show notes that include bonus material, practical tips, and exclusive resources on our website, zivraviv.com. Until next time, keep dreaming big and pushing your business and your life beyond six figures.